I'm about to say some crazy ass shit. Okay, so I want to start with the story. And it was this one time when I used to live in London. I lived there for about 3.5 years. And this is me during the summer. I had to move out, and I had to move out again, and I rented out a room in central London. And it was one day, I showed up, and I didn't have my key. I left my key in the inside of the house. It's one of those doors where you just have to close it and it automatically locks. So I left my key in the inside of the house. What ended up happening was I had to wait for my flatmate to, arrive, which was going to be like in 30 minutes. And I had to wait outside, right? So this is London, and there's like a bunch of street kids, down the corner. And I'm just like waiting. I'm just chilling, scrolling through my phone or whatever. And then these kids, they come and they just start shouting some weird things. I don't know what they were saying. I got a weird vibe off of it, right? And then, I was like, whatever. So then I'm just chilling on my phone. I'm standing up. I'm leaning next to a wall. And then these kids with their bikes, they come like really close to me, and then they swerve out and they keep going. And I was like, what? What the fuck is happening? Like, why are these people doing this right now? And then they came again, they're, I don't know, they're like 13, 14. They're like two kids on a bike. They come in really fucking close to me, right? And then they swerve out. It's like they're fucking sharks that begin to fucking rotate around me, doing circles, right? And I was a bit scared, right? Because they tapped me, and they just took off. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And now I got to get scared, right? I was like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Right? And then I was like, you know what? I could easily beat these kids up. I could easily just demolish them, right? They came back again. And I was like, and I started yelling at them. I said, yo, you guys better chill the fuck out, because you don't know who the fuck you're messing with, right? And they were like, oh, and I was like, fuck. What do I do in this situation? What do I do in this situation where I felt like I was being victimized at first. And then I felt like I had a lot of anger. I was like, if these kids pass by again, I'm going to push them off their bike, right? With a lot of anger, right? But then I was like, my threat that I made to them, it didn't make an impact in their mind, right? And I was like, yo, these kids, they're operating from joy, they're having joy doing this, whatever they're doing, but at the same time, they probably they're not getting any attention, and in a way, they're getting attention from me by doing this, right? And I got a bit more compassionate, and I was like, yo, these kids, they just want some attention. They're not being mean to me. They're not trying to be bullies to me. They just want to play. So the kid came back again, right? But this time he comes, he's in his bike, and he's lifts up the bike, and he's making straight eye contact with me while he's on his bike, just on the back wheel, balancing it. And then I was like, yo, man, it's really cool, right? With if he was my little brother and he just did some cool shit. So his smile went from a smirk to like that. And then his friend came back, and I was like, what'd you say? He said, what'd you say? And I was like, I said it was cool. And the kids stopped bothering me at that point. So the reason that I wanted to show you this story was because it details the way that the levels of consciousness work. So because I knew the map, there's a map to the level of consciousness, right? I said to myself, okay, let me take myself through the map. Let me tell myself what to think, and then I can get out of it. So if I was still stuck in fear, if I was still stuck in anger, they would have continued to be, you know, dickheads with me, right? And the likelihood was like, if I would have fought them, I mean, I would have gone to jail or something, you know, for beating up these kids, because I mean, they were fucking kids, and I was like, you know, 20 years old at the time. So whenever you figure out what the levels of consciousness are, you can tell yourself what to think. You can shift quickly through all the paradigms. Do I need a password? No. Hold on 1 second. No. Just tell me it's been the password to join in. All right. So quickly, I'm gonna tell you the levels of consciousness. Right. Oh shit! I just ripped up this paper. I read this book like a couple of times already. I read a lot about like consciousness and like levels, and this map right here is able to show me. It's one of the best maps for consciousness, right? So the low levels of energy, right? We're gonna start with the bottom. Guilt, shame, humiliation, hatred, right? Yo, what's up, Leslie?
Hey, good, thank you.
I'm just running through the levels of consciousness real quick, right? So, okay. And then right after guilt and shame, we have apathy, despair, depression, and hopelessness. Hopelessness is I can't do anything about it. I have no power, right? Grief, and then we go grief, sorrow, self-pity, and then we go into worry and shyness, inferiority, right? Paranoia, right? And then craving, need, compulsion, unfulfilled desires. And then anger, domination, aggression, coldness. Antagonism, criticism, discontent, complaint, blame. Blaming. You did this, you did this, you did this, others did this, right? They're not treating me right, da 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 da. Anger, domination, aggressiveness, coldness, right? And then antagonism, criticism, discontent, complaint, blame. Oh yeah, and then my bad. Pride, superiority, arrogance. These are the low levels of vibration, right? You can break them down to low, the middle, and the higher levels of vibration, right? So when we break this down, you'll notice that all of them have to do with fear. Even anger has to do with fear, because anger comes from I'm not safe right now, right? I'm not safe, so I need to puff up my energy, to puff up my chest, need to be a bit arrogant, right? So that I can be safe, because I'm not safe, right? Now I'm going to go into this idea of fear coming from the lack of safety, right? I want to go through the chakras. I made my little paper here over here. So I'm gonna go from the seventh to the first one. The crown is I understand, and this is where you can train your God-like energy, right? You know, through right here is where you receive like inspiration. You know, what's inspiration? Inspiration is in spirit, right? Inside of spirit. When you have this crazy idea, this awesome idea, it comes because you were inspired, you were in spirit. This is divine, right? Number 6, the third eye, which is I see truth, right? I know because I see, and when you open up your third eye, you see more than the physical. You're able to see the spiritual, right? The throat, I speak. I speak. Heart, I love. Sacral chakra is I do. And navel chakra is I do. Sacral chakra is I feel. And your root is I am, right? Now, when we have in a blocked chakra, right? With this, if your seventh chakra is blocked, you're gonna have brain fog. You're gonna have depression, right? You're not gonna be able to think clearly. You might even have, like anger towards God, right? And there's a lot of people who have blocked. But if it's overactive chakra, it'll be, you can have people who are like, using meditation and spirituality like drugs. There's a lot of people who they try like, I'm done using drugs, so I'm gonna go to meditation, right? But they're using it in a way, and they're using meditation the same way that they're using drugs, right? Even though it's a high vibrational thing, they're using it to fill in a void, right? If your third eye, your sixth chakra, if it's blocked, you're gonna have bad focus. You're not gonna be able to focus. You're gonna have you're gonna be super ADHD, right? You're gonna have low imagination, right? And when you have a low imagination, you'll notice that there's a lot of people who you could tell them, yo, you have so much potential. I see potential in you, right? But they'll be like, nah, that's not true. Like, that's not for me. Or like, I don't think I could. I don't think I can. Like, you can see that this person is capable of a lot, but because they have a low imagination, they don't even see a possibility in their life where they could have amazing relationships, where they can have all the money that they need, where they can work at a job that they love, right?
Yes. See. Sorry.
Could you mute it, Leslie? You could just
Yes.
unmute though later whenever you have any
Yes.
questions. Yeah?
Okay.
But if it's overactive, you have overactive third eye, you're gonna have like nightmares. You like people who have an you could say almost like an overactive imagination, right? Where but because it's in the overactiveness, it's not balanced. You'll have nightmares. You'll be like obsessive. You just keep thinking about the same shit over and over and over again, right? And then we talk about the fifth chakra. It has to do with your throat, connected to your mouth, connected to your ears, right? If it's blocked, you won't be able to express yourself in an authentic way. And what often happens if it's blocked, people will very likely misunderstand you, right? If you feel like people, like you explain things to people and they never understand you, right? It has to do because it's blocked and you're not explaining it correctly. You're not using the right words. And when you're operating from fear, people, if they're not very high vibrational, they're gonna react in a way that's the opposite of fear to fill in that puzzle piece. And if it's overactive, you're gonna see people that are like loud, who are just like really loud, who are perhaps very critical, right? They're, you don't. So if you could be loud, but, you could also be loud and critical. It doesn't apply, for every single person, right? You could say gossiping has to do with an overactive throat. Gossiping is talking. It has to do with talking, right? You talk over others, right? Somebody who's talking over others, you're having a conversation, and if they feel like they're not being heard, right? Because remember, the throat chakra is connected to the ears. If you feel like you're not acknowledged, your truth is not acknowledged, sometimes we begin to start yelling, right? Or we begin to start talking louder, right? Like, hear me, listen to me, acknowledge my truth, right? That's overactive throat chakra. Your heart chakra, my favorite. a lot to do with, you know, with if it's blocked, you'll have trust issues. You have the inability to trust somebody, even after, like, I mean, even after somebody who has hurt you, right? You can still trust them, but if your heart chakra is blocked, your ability to love is blocked. You're gonna be like, I don't think they're ever gonna change. They are always gonna be the same. I don't trust them. You know, I'm hateful. I'm hateful because of what they did. You know, if you hate Hitler, you know, then you don't have to love. You don't have to say that. So love is like an understanding. Like, let me quickly explain love. Love is an understanding for somebody else's humanness, which is to understand that they're gonna do some fucking crazy, stupid, dumb shit, but because they're human, it's okay. That's just what happens when we're human. We do dumb shit. We feel dumb shit. We don't like things that we do, but it's just what happens when you're a human, right? But somebody who has an overactive heart chakra, they're gonna be like overgiving, like overgiving. Like they're gonna give too much of themselves, right? They're gonna, a lot of times, let's say the example of women who are in abusive relationships, right? They know that they shouldn't be in that relationship because the abuse is not good, but they're givers, right? So they continue to give and give and give, but they continue to get beat up at the same time, even though they're giving love. So they're giving too much, right? Because they have codependency. Codependent. I need you. And if this happened to me before, after breakups where I was like, fuck, like, I'm never gonna recover. Like, I'm fucking, like, I need this person. I only need this person. Without this person, my life is just fucking sucks. Without this person, like, fuck my life. That's codependency. And I've definitely had that, and it comes from a lack of self-love. And then going to the third chakra, when it's blocked, you're gonna have low self-worth. When this is blocked, right here, right? No, so real quick, let me just let you know why you need to know where they are, right? Because whenever you can find the body part, you can focus on it and you can bring light into it. You can bring whichever body part, whichever area it is, you can bring your attention into it just by bringing your awareness of it. You'll be able to move the energy, the negative energy out, and you'll be able to balance these chakras, right? So that's why it's important to know, because it's mind, body, soul, right? Which is actually one. Your mind, body, and soul are just one. What you do to your mind, you do it to your body. What you do to your soul, you do it to your body, right? Okay, so this is why you gotta know it. Right here. Low self-worth, feeling powerless. I can't do anything. I can't do anything about it. Is I have no choice. I have no choice. Inferiority, feeling less than others. It's like if a celebrity were to come in and if you feel like you're less than that celebrity, just because they're famous, then you have a problem with your navel chakra. Right? But if it's overactive, it's moving too much, you're gonna be perfectionist. You're gonna be like, it needs to be perfect. It needs to be perfect. You're gonna be power hungry, right? You're just like, oh, I need more power. I need more power. I need more power, right? But when it's balanced, it's like, I have power, and I'm able to set boundaries with people, and I'm doing good for myself. I'm okay. I love myself. I accept myself. Number two, your sacral chakra. If it's blocked, you're gonna have low creativity, low libido, which is like low energy. You have low energy, no creativity. You're just like, you fear intimacy. There's a fear of intimacy that comes with having a blocked sacral chakra, where it's like, I'm scared. This has happened to me after one of my breakups. I know so much just because of breakups. Like that, to me, relationships have taught me where to find the balance within myself. But there was one time when, like after a really bad breakup, I was scared to get back into relationships. I was like, fuck, like I'm scared I'm gonna get hurt again. I'm scared that I'm gonna fall in love, when I meet someone that I appreciate and I want to spend more time with, but then they're not gonna want to be with me anymore, right? So instead, I'm just gonna like fear, right? And if it's overactive, you're gonna be over emotional, and for a lot of guys, they have like a fixation on sex, or like an obsession with sex, an obsession with masturbating, an obsession with orgasming. Yeah, and then finally, the first one, the root chakra. If it's unbalanced, it's gonna have things to do like fearful. You're gonna be unsure, like confused, right? Financial instability, a lot of financial instability, because it has to do with survival, right? Like surviving, being alive, having everything that you need. Now, if you feel like maybe at times your life is going to be in danger, like, oh, how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to get food, right? Or even this fear of how am I going to pay for university? How am I going to just like worrying all the time about money? We're always worrying about stuff. Then that's going to be have to do with your root, right? And if it's overactive, you're going to lust for power, right? Which is a bit different from the third chakra, where as in this one would be more for the power of controlling others, overactive, of course, right? And overactive root would be for the power of your environment, right? Where it's like, I want to survive, right? You'll notice that there's a lot of people who, when they have an imbalance in their root, they're going to be very aggressive. They're going to be aggressive fucking people, you know? Because, let's just say that, you know, I don't want to say like, you know, one chakra is better than the other, but you could say when we think with our heart, like the higher we go, the more power we have. Yeah. So an animal is thinking a lot with their root chakra, because it has to do with survival, with surviving, with being alive, with not dying. You know what I mean? Not dying. Now, if we think with the heart, though, we're thinking with love and compassion, and we're just open. We're open to receive, right? But whenever we're living in survival mode, we're very much scared a lot. There's a lot of fear because you're living in survival mode. Survival means I'm like 1 point away from dying, right? So we are faith-based creatures. Hold on, guys. I got to message somebody. Hold on. I don't know the link. Thanks for waiting. There's somebody messaging me. I'm trying to log in here. Okay, so we're faith-based creatures, right? What that means is, you know, so somebody will tell you have faith. Well, you always have faith, right? Now, faith is what you believe the future is going to be. Is what you believe the future is going to be. So it's what I'm imagining is going to happen. What are the pictures in my mind that I'm seeing? That's what you think the future is going to be. So you can have a faith of things going great, that you can have the faith that, oh, I think things are going to turn out good. I think everything's going to be all right. Or you could have the fear of something bad happening, right? But that's still faith. By having fear of anxiety about your future, that's still faith, right? Now, I might tell you, why don't you just stop thinking? Why don't you just stop thinking negatively, right? Because to a degree, it is a choice. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have the choice if I'm anxious. I don't have the choice if I'm depressed. Well, if you're coming back to the same thing over and over again, this a similar fear over and over again, it has to do with an addiction, right? People don't talk about this, but we have addictions to emotions. We're addicted to emotions, right? Because we are emotion-based creatures. We feel first, and then we have a logical explanation for the way that we feel, right? Are we still, what's the ID code? 1 second. And just somebody else is trying to log in here. So addictions, I will describe them as things that we do over and over again, even though we know that they don't benefit us. That's an addiction, right? Now, why do we have addictions? Why do we have addictions? Well, to us, we believe we're actually being productive. There's the belief that let's just say smoking. We're gonna do the example of smoking. Right? A lot of people want to stop smoking, but they're not able to. Why is this? Well, they have the belief that I'm actually better off by smoking than by not smoking. Now, there's going to be a negative effect in my body because I inhaled these chemicals that can cause cancer. However, I want to feel good, right? I want to feel good. So I'm going to do this because the positive effects, Devon. Or was that Nevin? Yo, Nevin, can you mute? Nevin.
Yeah, I'm muted.
All right, thanks. Okay. So it makes us feel like we're doing something that's good for us, right? Like you're doing something positive, right? Because the good feeling that you get is better than the logical understanding that it's not good for you, right? So fear always involves loss. Fear always okay. I'm gonna ask everybody a few questions real quick, but fear always involves losing something, not or not having something, right? And it always comes down, fear always comes down to the fear of dying. To the fear of dying, right? Even fear of success comes down to the fear of dying. Because you might notice, like, yeah, of course I want success, right? But, how have people in your family talked about successful people? Right? Oh, rich people this, rich people that, they're greedy, rich people are stealing from people. There's people that believe that the only way to get rich is to scam somebody else. They're not thinking, oh, if I do good for other people, money will come my way. That they think I have to do something bad in order to make money, right? I have to do something that's very hard, right? And then what will happen is because we know that people in our own family who, if they're not financially well, they'll talk a lot of shit about rich people. They'll talk a lot about they talk about rich politicians and shit like that. You know, I know for sure in my family, like they haven't, you know, people don't always talk good about rich people. However, what happens is because we're putting down somebody who has what you want, whenever you put down somebody who has what you want, you make it harder for you to obtain that. Right? So if you have jealousy about somebody.
Yo, what's up, Ivan? I'm here.
Yo, what's good, Davon? Can you mute real quick?
All right.
So going back to the fear of like of being rich, being successful. You'll think, well, I'm going to lose the connection that I have with my family. I'm going to lose the love, right? And then when the loss of love goes back to our primate, our like monkey brain, which says, if I don't have love, I don't have attention. And without attention, I can die in the jungle. If I don't have attention, I can die in the jungle. Because I need
Ivan, I ain't mean to interrupt you, but what's the topic right quick? I just want to know the topic right quick.
I'm talking about fear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So attention and love have to do with people helping you gather food, helping you people stay safe, protecting you when you're not looking, because realistically speaking, we didn't evolve to be by ourselves, right? Because the only way that we become successful is by grouping with other people, right? This is why people who have very few friends or have very few people that think that they love me. Like, if you don't believe that people actually love you, you're gonna have a really fucked up root chakra, right? Because there's the fear of dying again, right? Now there's the two biggest needs that humans have is to survive and to reproduce. Survive, reproduce. Those are your biggest needs. Your biggest needs. Survive, I don't die. I have all my food. I have everything that I need, and I have a partner, and I can give my seed, and the human evolution is not gonna die, right? Going back to something I said in the beginning, the chart of consciousness is basically less love to more love. So what I want you to realize is there's actually not something called fear. Fear is something that we labeled when there's a lack of love. But the love is always there, right? Love is always there. Peace is always there. Abundance is always there. However, because whenever we might have some of our chakras that are blocked, and if they're blocked, they're not allowing for the energy to flow through us, right? And if we're the ones that are blocking it with our thoughts, just your thought will block it, right? Then you're gonna struggle with receiving. But the thing is, there's no such thing as fear, right? Fear is what happens when you don't have love, right? What is your frequency? How do you know what your frequency is? Well, your frequency is based on what you frequently do. Frequency, frequently, right? So it has to do with the patterns, the way that you move most of the time. How are you moving, right? Now, your frequency will depend on your personality, right? Personality is the way that you interact with the world. Your personality will create your reality, because your personality is based on what you believe to be true. Now, again, our biggest fear is death, right? Because when moms are pregnant, right? When your mom was pregnant with you, one of her fears was that she was going to fall down and die and kill you and crush you. That's a common fear that mothers have. Now, you're connected to your mom in that moment. Physically, you're physically connected. So her ideas are pushed into you. What she's thinking, she's pushing that into you. So if when she was pregnant, she was going through a lot, that child is going to receive that energy, right? And one of the biggest fears that women have when they're pregnant is that something is going to just fucking crush that baby inside them. So, from birth, you will have the fear of death. And even through your DNA, you will be influencing, your own thoughts. Your DNA controls 60% of you, right, of who you become. And if people in your past died from any specific reasons, those fears will transfer onto you, right? So maybe you might have like some sort of fears and you're like, I don't know why I fear heights. I don't know why I fear rats, or I don't know why I fear, whatever, animal, just kind of like randomly. It has to do with people in your past that came before you and the way that they died, right? That was written in the DNA. So you might be struggling with something and it's just generational. It's just like, I have to heal. When you heal yourself, you're not just healing yourself, you're also healing your past, right? How's everybody doing right now?
Doing pretty good. Ivan, I wanted to say something right quick.
Yeah?
I'm doing good too.
I wanted to say something right quick. Manifestation.
What's up? What about it?
I finally found out how it worked. All right. If you want to order a pizza, you can order a pizza right now, right? If you had the money. If you wanted to go take a walk outside, you can go take a walk outside. So it just, like, I'm looking at you right, like, I want to explain this clearly so everybody on this video chat can get it. It's just it just manifestation. I'm putting it like this: manifestation is manifestation. There's no definition to it. Think about what I just said. Manifestation is manifestation.
Yes, it is true. It is true.
So I
Go
have.
ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leslie.
Okay, for me, since you were talking about the fear of dying, how about if that's not one of my fears? I often say I don't fear death. To me, death is something that not that I want. I know I deal with depression, but not something that how should I say it? I think it's like I'm just not scared of death.
Okay, we're
That's normal. Things like
we're
that.
gonna go into we're gonna go into like a portion of my talk where
Okay.
I'm gonna have everybody write their fears and we can go into the root of what that fear is, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of times what we think is what we need to do is not always what we need to do, right? We're working in the surface level, right? So right now everything that I've talked about, so I mean, Chelsea was here since the beginning. when I was talking about all these other chakras. But yeah, so
And can I say one more thing before you finish?
yeah, what's up?
I actually found out how to get manifestation quick. Okay, you know, are you familiar with the earphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you familiar with affirmations?
Yeah.
Okay, you say an affirmation,
Yeah.
record the affirmation, and you let it repeat in the headphone over and over again. This is one of the techniques I found out. You let it repeat over and over again, and they'll give you the power to do anything. It's real, because it'll give you supernatural powers, superpowers. I don't really want to seem kind of funny, but it'll give you, like, you'll be up there. Like, you'll be able to do anything as long as you have that flow of energy going to your body. But it's different. It's also different ways, though. You can, like, are you familiar with?
I'm gonna go into that. I'm actually gonna go into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to change for two major reasons. One of them is neural pathway strength, and the other one is the ego. So neural pathway is every time you think about something, there's an electrical pattern that shoots inside your brain. And every time you think about it, that pattern gets stronger. And you think about it again, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, right? So that is why I recommend people writing down and speaking their affirmations over and over again, because essentially you're trying to recreate new patterns inside your brain, right? Now the other part is the ego. What happens is here, I'm gonna use these journals. Here's like your first experiences of life, and then you're just like adding up experiences, stacking up more and more experiences. This is your whole life, right? Now this is you right here with wherever you are in that moment. In order to change, you have to just, like, all of this destroy. You have to go to the root, and when you happen to the root, everything just starts falling apart. It's falling apart, right? So this feeling of I was wrong, right? And I had that guilt, and I had the shame, your fears are held in by the shame, right? Because a lot of times we'll be like, I shouldn't fear that, right? Guilt is like, I should be this, I shouldn't be that, right? Guilt is not accepting fully who you are and rejecting parts of you, right? Because I can assure you that there's something about you that you wish nobody knew, right? Like your biggest insecurity, right? Your biggest insecurity. There's something about you that something you experience that you wish people could never fucking know, right? And if I asked you right now to say what this thing is, and if you have a hard time saying what it is, then it will come down to you experiencing guilt and shame, and then that's just holding you down. Like your fears are being held in. Now there's an actual muscles. You actually have muscles that are holding in those thoughts, right? I want you to realize this, that whenever you are having thoughts that you don't like, you are like stiffening parts of your body, right? Like right now, I want you to think about something that you really don't like, something that scares you, right? Just really think about. Actually, let's go into the exercise that I wanted to do. If you got some paper, if everybody brought paper, like usually, I want you to start writing down what your biggest fears are. Right? Writing down what your biggest fears, what it has to do with not becoming successful. Maybe this fear can be with not being smart enough, right? What are some of your biggest insecurities? Oh, I don't like, my nose, my eyes, my hair, my chin, my fat, right? Insecurities are also fears. Insecurities are fears, right? Now, fears, whenever they're being held down by guilt and shame, they become desires. They become desires. They secretly become desires because you keep thinking about them over and over and over again, right? And they become something that you secretly want to happen because of your ego. Your ego wants to be right. Your ego does not like to be wrong. So by having a fear and an insecurity, you're actually wanting it to happen, and you're wanting to create that experience for yourself so that you can prove to yourself that you're not wrong and that you are right. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So yeah, just write down what are some of your biggest fears, what are your biggest insecurities? Like, what do you wish nobody knew about? Right? What do you wish nobody would ever see about you?
What if you don't have a fear and you believe you can overcome anything?
Well, you can overcome everything. But
So my biggest fear is not overcoming it.
your biggest fear is not overcoming something.
Yeah.
Okay. Not overcoming what?
Anything in life.
So your fear is that you're not going to be able to overcome everything.
No, I'm saying that will be my fear. That is like a two-way side. All right, I believe I can overcome anything, and my biggest fear is not overcoming everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like two ways.
Mm-hmm. So we are actually programmed to be negative. We are programmed to be negative. We're not programmed to be happy, right? This part of our brain right here in the front, it's called the neocortex. It's new. It's a new cortex, right? And we're usually operating from the back. Now, this part of our brain has to do with solving complex things, right? So one of the things that always stop me and help me overcome any negative emotions that I might be feeling come down to asking myself complex questions, right? So whenever you're asking yourself complex questions, you're able to step out of fear, because fear is an emotion, and you're stepping into logic, right? We'll notice that many fears are irrational, right? Fears are emotional. Emotional means irrational because irrational means of the emotions. It means not using logic. So the fastest way to get out from fear is to use your logic, right? Because what happens is, as soon as something that we fear happens, like it can be something very simple, like I'm going to be late to work. It can be something very simple, like fear of not getting likes on your picture, fear of not getting not getting a text back from your crush, fear of not getting approved for I'm getting married recently. So I got a message. Somebody put a message here. How do I read messages like that? You guys, that people just sent. Hold on. Well, I don't know where I can see it, but somebody just commented something. Do you guys see it though? That's okay. All right. I can't do it because I'm on my phone, but whatever. I was saying, what was I saying? Somebody? Anybody?
You said to use your logic.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. To use your logic, and you'll begin to notice that it comes down to what can I control and what can I not control, right? What can I control and what can I not control, right? And if I can't control this, right? If there really is nothing that you can do about it, then you could just let it go. But if there is something that you can do about it, well, then do something about it. Because your fears it's like a compass. It's telling you where to go. It's telling you what to do, right? Now you can have a high vibrational fear, right? You can actually have a high vibrational fear, right? Which is more like there's actually footage of this, like there's like cameras in the streets, and they recorded this, that there was a car that tipped over on this woman's child, right? And this woman, she's not like a fucking buff ass bodybuilder woman. She picks up the car with all her strength, and and her child is able to come out from under the car. Right? Now, why is this? Is because she's operating from love, right? From love for her child, and love gives you strength, right? Now, that's what I would call a high vibrational fear.
What about adrenaline?
Yeah, you could say she probably had some adrenaline that was pumping through her, but going back to this idea that it was a woman who was not this big buff ass fucking woman lifting up a car, right? Lifting up a car, literally, right? Now, when we have low vibrational fears, we will get weak, very weak, very weak. And if we step in, and well, we're supposed to have fear. The thing is, we can't say fear is bad. Like, if I see a snake coming up my leg, it's perfectly normal for you to get scared of that. It's normal for you to get scared of that. You're supposed to get scared. If you didn't get scared, you would just be like, oh yeah, fuck it, let it kill me. You know what? Fuck it. Let me just die. Right? So fear is telling you where to go, what to do. Now the problem is getting stuck in the fear, right? Getting frozen within the fear, right? So somebody share what they wrote down on what their biggest fears are.
I already shared mine.
Was it just one? Just one for you? Just the fear of not accomplishing?
Yeah, it's just that I believe I can overcome anything, and my biggest fear is not overcoming everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is everything to you? What is everything? Can you put it down into like a few? Yeah,
I could put it down into a few words. Anything that can happen. Yeah, I'm put it like, all right. I believe I can overcome anything, and my biggest fear is not overcoming anything. And what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. And yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so what are the biggest obstacles that you're facing, you know, in your day to day? Biggest obstacles that you're facing?
Just really like dealing with problems, people, you know, the normality, dealing with people, problem situations, getting to where I need to be. It's just an obstacle. But it's really like I can do stuff. I can do some stuff easy. Like I can go get me something to eat real easy. Some people can't even do that. Like
Yes.
some people are just like on the streets. They can't even get nothing to eat. So does that make me more powerful than them? No, it's just I'm in a different situation.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I have to go get me something to eat if I wanted to. Some people can't even go get nothing to eat, but like they can actually they can go get something to eat. They just don't know it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what I wanted to get to from this was that if every time we fear something, and it becomes an insecurity, we're giving our power away. You're giving your power away to the thing that you fear by fearing it. And then what will happen is you will feel powerless, like there's nothing that you can do about it. Right? When in reality is you can always do something about it, right? But by having a fear, we're giving our power away, right? So what you have to do is let go of the resistance that you feel, right? Because right now, look, I want you to think about everybody right now. Think about a negative thing that you don't want to experience. I don't experience this, right? Something that you don't want to want to go through. You don't want to get hit by a car. You don't want your mom and dad to die. You don't want to get all the money in your bank account stolen from you. You don't want your house to burn down, right? Right? You know, okay, just think about these things that you really don't want to fucking happen, right? You don't want to get cancer, right? You don't want to get a knife stabbed into your head, right? Okay, so I want you to imagine right now a knife getting stabbed through your head, right? It's fucking silver. There's a person in front of you. It's in the middle of the night. You're walking in the street. A stranger comes up. They bring their arm up forward, and they've got a knife in their hand. And they swing it, and it goes through your forehead, right? Now observe that by having a thought that is uncomfortable, you create stiffness in your body. No, just watch. Now let go. Just let go. Just let go. Let go of the image. Let go of anything. Let go of the tension in your forehead. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your cheeks. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders, right? And notice that the thought goes away. When you relax your body, the negative thought naturally goes away. So realize that anytime that you have like little anxieties, like today, I'm driving and I have a really big truck, and it's connected to a trailer, right? So it's the truck and it's the trailer, and I found it real. So I'm in like in some houses, and the roads are not so big, and I'm with a really big truck, right? And I have this anxiety, and then I have to like put the truck in reverse. And if anybody knows about trailers, it's very hard to move a trailer. Like, it's not very hard, but it's a skill that you have to learn, right? Well, I'm moving, and cars on my left and cars on my right are stopped. And I began to have this anxiety of these people that are waiting for me to get out of the way with my fucking big ass truck. They're waiting for me, right? And I was like, I just kept going forward, going reverse, going forward, going reverse, and I kept fucking up. I kept messing up, right? And then I was like, just let it go, just let it go. Just relax, just like throw some fun into it. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Right? I was like, just have joy, smile, right? As soon as I did that, I put the truck in reverse really easily, right? As soon as I did that, then the good thoughts that were gonna help me figure out what I needed to do came in, because I had to relax my body, and then the good thoughts came in, right? Now, whatever anybody says, you can't control your mind. Nobody can control their mind. It's impossible. It's completely impossible. I'll tell you why. Right now, stop thinking. Just stop thinking right now. No, don't think at all. Don't think, you know what? Don't picture a pink dolphin. I don't want you to be thinking about a pink dolphin. Don't think of a pink dolphin. No, I'm serious. Stop thinking about pink dolphins. Don't think about them. Right? Do you see how the image of a pink dolphin came to your mind whenever I said, don't think of a pink dolphin? But is it true? Tell me if it's true.
Yeah, it's because you put it into our subconscious mind.
Yeah. What about you, Leslie? You shook your head.
Yeah, I didn't have that dolphin in my mind.
You didn't
I
think
was
about a
just
pink
looking,
dolphin.
I was just listening at you. I was focusing more on your voice. But I wasn't putting the image in my head.
You didn't think of a pink, like a bright pink dolphin.
Now I did, but no, I wasn't.
Okay. What about you, Nev? Did you think about a pink dolphin? I don't know where Nev is. Oh shit. Where's Nev? Nev disappearing. All right. So by saying, even though I said don't think of a pink dolphin, the pink dolphin came up, right? So the words that we use, even if I'm telling myself, don't be scared, don't be scared, don't be scared, my subconscious is listening and it says scared, 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 because your subconscious doesn't tell the difference between good and bad, or wrong and right, left and right, up and down. Your subconscious doesn't do that. Your subconscious is just listening, and instead of you actually telling yourself, don't be scared, you're just thinking scared, scared, scared. So the whole trick is to not use the negative words at all, right? And just directly go to the positive. Directly start thinking more with your heart chakra, right? Start thinking with your heart chakra. Start thinking with love. What would love do in this situation, right? No matter, this is an affirmation of mine, is no matter what, I choose love. I choose love, right? And anytime that something happens in my life that I don't like at first, like recently I traveled to London from Austin, Texas. I went from Austin to Denver, Colorado, to New York City, to New York, to London. And as soon as I got to London, they kicked me out. As soon as I got to London, they put me on a plane back home, right? Now, I was supposed to see my girlfriend, who I haven't seen in 6 months, in 6 long months. That was very painful, right? And I felt like a victim. And I felt like, fuck, there's nothing that I could do. But then I realized, no, I'm not going to be a victim. It was my choice to come back. It was my choice to experience this. So what I've done is I said, I chose to go through this experience, right? I chose to come to Earth. You fucking came to Earth, right? You cannot prove to me that you didn't choose to come to Earth, right? Because each human has a purpose. If I chop off your hands, do you stop being a human? Are you no longer a human if I chop off your arms? Chop them off, right? You're still a human. What if I chop off your legs? Are you still a human? Right? Now you're just like a Bob. You're just like
Since you're talking about that we chose to come to Earth, do you believe that we were a different species or something back in the day?
It is possible that you have experienced what it is like to be a rock, or experienced what it is like to be a tree, right? Now, I say this because you are God. You are limitless, right? Now, this is what I want you to understand, that you literally are God. Why? Why do I say this? Because everything on Earth and in the stars was created by God, right? There's nothing outside of anything that we can see or perceive that is outside of God. There's nothing in the world that was not created by God.
You can
Right.
answer that question by saying, why is God God?
Now, to me, God is just an energy, right? It's just an energy. So, if I had to summarize, I want to finish up soon. If I had to summarize this, it would go down is the idea that fear is a lack of love, right? And that fear comes from a lack of connection to God, right?
I just came up with a perspective while you were
Mhm.
talking about God. How we, some people say we're not God. If we're not God, how can we do anything? Because we could do anything, right? So if we could do anything, that would make us God, because God, that's the only thing that's possible, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the capability to do anything. We have
Yeah.
the potential. We have the potential to do anything.
Yeah. Definitely. And whenever you're in fear, again, use logic, because whenever we're in fear, blood is actually moving away from our legs, from our brain. Whenever you're in fear, blood moves away from your brain and it moves into your arms, because it's you preparing to fight, you preparing yourself to run or fight. That's what happens when you're in fear. So you stop thinking rationally. So always ask yourself questions to bring blood back into your brain so that you can think clearly, and that you're not thinking like an animal. You're not using your survival, right? So yeah, I think that's just where I'm gonna leave it at for today.
I want to say one more thing before we exit.
Uh-huh.
Like I finally get the reason why, like people saying, some people say we're God and some people say we're not God. They're only saying that because they say God can do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. I had a perspective of this, but I lost the perspective. It just popped out of my mind. But they're saying God is God because He can do anything. It's like we're stuck in this perspective or mindset our consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, we're stuck in this consciousness of believing that we're not immortal, that we're not the highest thing. We're stuck in this consciousness of believing we're not the highest thing. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Separation. So
now, yeah, listen, one more thing.
Yes,
If we knew that we was the highest thing, do you know what we could do? We didn't have to, like, it would be, people would be able to, like, because it would give them a higher consciousness.
yeah. Now I want to just tell you that whatever is created in your world depends on how you feel at the moment, right? Whatever is created in your world depends on how you feel in the moment, right? So manifestation has to do with feeling. Now, you know, if I say money to you, what comes to your mind? Right? All the ideas, you know, about what I just said money, what comes to your mind, right? And the ideas that you have about money is the way that you feel about it, right? So in order to change the way something is manifesting in your life, you need to change the way that you see it and the way that you feel about it, right? Because you will see it, you know, you will imagine it, right? Because again, we are projecting into the future. We are projecting. We have faith that something is going to happen, right? We have faith that and your faith depends on the way that you feel about your future. And the way that you feel about your future depends on the way that you feel about yourself. And if you feel within yourself that you have low value, then you're going to have a fear of things in the future coming at you because you think that you're not worthy of the things that you want. And by having a fear of not getting what you want, it becomes a desire. It becomes a desire for you to not get what you want. It becomes a goal for you to not get what you want. Your fears become desires. By having a fear and holding on to it, you create a desire and a want for it to happen. And the only way to let go of it is to relax your body in that moment. Always relax your body. Just tell yourself, just let it go, just let it go, just let it go, right? And just by letting it go, it leaves your body, right? Because our feelings are like inside of our body. We can cut it that way, right? It's like your feelings are inside of your body. So just let them go and you can go wherever, right? And let me just put it this way real quick, because you know I want to finish this. The love is always there. The power for you is always there. Intelligence is always there. The money is always there. God is always there. But with our fears, we prevent them from coming into our life. By holding on to a fear, we give the fear more power than we give the positive aspect. By having a fear, we prevent ourselves from receiving what we really want. But we think that by having a fear, we are being productive because we want to survive. So just let go. Just let go. Just let go. And by letting go, you will automatically connect to your higher self. Because your higher self is not higher than you. Your higher self is not more than you. You are your higher self, right? But we ourselves are holding, I'm holding myself down. You're holding yourself down. Because, okay, I found the perfect scenario to explain how your higher self is always available to you, right? Because your higher self doesn't fear bullshit. Your higher self doesn't have anxiety, right? Your higher self isn't thinking, oh, how am I going to make money, right? Your higher self knows how to make money, and a lot of it. Your higher self knows how to make you rich, right? But let's just say that there's a water bottle in my hand, and I'm pushing it down. I'm pushing the water bottle into the ocean, and I'm holding it down, right? Well, what's going to happen whenever I let go of my hand, right? I'm going to, right? The water bottle is going to go back up. I push it back down, it'll always come back up, right? So all you have to do is remove the negative thinking by relaxing. That's literally it. I know it sounds absurd. Just relax, and you will float back up to higher consciousness.
Hey, Ivan, I want to say something before we exit right quick.
Yeah.
Or whenever we exit. I wrote down something while you was talking.
Okay.
I wrote down manifestation is you. You are in control. You are a manifester. So everything that you talked about on this video chat is about being a manifester. Every living thing is a manifester, even lions, tigers, and bears. We all are manifestors. So everything that will come out of your mouth, past, present, and future, relates to being a manifester. So yeah.
Yeah, co-creator. You're creating your reality.
Or you can say creator.
Yeah, I want to open this up to any questions or any comments or any things that you guys found interesting that you guys want to quickly mention. Leslie, anything you want to say?
I want to share something right quick. Something just popped up in my mind. If we're creators, how are we not God? If God is a creator and we're a creator, how are we not God? I don't want to get into that. If you don't want to get into that, I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't believe I'm God. I don't believe I'm God right now because it's been put in my mind not to believe that, but I do believe I'm a creator.
Okay. All right. Nev, is there anything you wanna quickly mention? Leslie? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
No, I don't have any questions.
Leslie?
I don't have any questions.
All right, thanks, Nev. I can't hear you, Leslie.
Okay, there you go. I couldn't unmute it. I like what you said at the end, to let it go. Just let it go. I think I'm gonna make a sign and put that because I do have a lot of fear, and I think having that sign up in my room is gonna help. So just wanted to say that. I don't know, because I do have some fear. Not like I do have it, not some, but I do have fear, and I like when you say just let it go.
I would advise you to replace the sentence that says I have fear into I'm experiencing fear.
Okay.
Right? Because by saying I have, you're making it part of you. You're associating yourself as the fear, right? So yeah. You're saying I am that emotion, right? So that is holding on to it. I am the emotion, is I'm holding on to the emotion, right? Separating yourself from the emotions is like, I'm not these emotions, right? So for me, it's like, I'm not my thinking. Whatever I think is not what I am, right? But we do have to realize that whatever you think becomes an action, right? So, you know, they're so the law of attraction tells us that what we think about is what we manifest, right? But so, you know, people might have a fear, and they're like, fuck, I can't let go of this fear. I can't let go of this fear. This fear of my girlfriend cheating on me. I can't let go of this fear. It's hard for me to let go of it, right? Well, then another fear will come in and be like, fuck, because I can't let go of this fear, that means it's gonna happen. That means it's gonna happen. That means it's gonna happen, right? And then we will move like that's gonna happen. We'll begin to our actions in this world. So the way I would describe it is like your personal world is the world of the eye, right? Of one eye. Your personal world is the eye, your personal eye, which is the way that you see things, right here. Now, in this world, you know, you looking at me, we can look at each other. That's why this is the world of the eyes, multiple eyes, right? So they can't see, you guys can't see my world, my eye world, but you can only experience it. You're gonna experience it because the way that I see the images that I see in my head are the images that I create into this world through my movement, through the way that I talk, right? Through the way that I walk, if I wake up early, if I don't wake up early, you know, what I'm creating is depending on what I'm believing, right? And what I believe is what I'm giving power to, right? Anything that you believe, you're giving your power to it. So you don't have control. You don't have control, right? But you can guide yourself. That is one thing that you can do. You can guide yourself. It's like a ship, you know? You don't like control the water that moves the ship. You just control the ship, right? Now, the water might move the ship in one direction that you don't want to go to, right? You can just like guide the boat so that you don't fucking drown. You know what I mean? So instead of trying to control yourself, always realize that you can choose. You can't always choose what you think, but you can choose holding on to it, right? You don't always choose what you can think. Like, I want you to know that you don't choose what you want to think all the time, but you can guide yourself in a direction, right? There's no such thing as self-control. There's no such thing as self-control, right? There's only the guiding of your thoughts, right? Yeah. So, I did want to mention, I mean, I was going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to do it now. But I wanted to help you guys connect. I want to do a meditation where you guys connect with your higher self. I'm not having enough time right now to do that. I have to do something with my lawyer soon. So if you guys want to do a personal guided meditation, do let me know. I'm gonna do them for like, since you guys were in here, I think I'll do them for was that like, if you guys do it, we'll do them for like $7. We'll do them for like $7, right? And you know, the reason a guided meditation to connect.
I'll cash app you another 10 for another personal. I want to do another personal lesson.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
So we can do that tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, Sunday's a good time. Sunday's a good time.
Yeah. So just hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'll cash app you the 10.
Yeah. There's a meditation that I'll go into where we can connect with all of your chakras and have all the energy move, so that any energy that might be stuck, might be blocked or overactive, we can just like, you know, gain a little bit more control by guiding our breath.
Because I got a lot of things I want. I got a lot of things I want to talk to you about. So I'm gonna cash app you that 10. You know, because it's like I'm getting the money right back. It's like you're giving it right back to me because you're giving me valuable information.
Thank you.
So it's like I'm getting it right. It's like I'm giving you the Cash App 10 and you're giving me the information. It's both for money.
And then, I mean, would you say that you've made more money easier and happier because of the conversations we've had?
Yeah, by investing in you and by investing in you and investing in myself, I put myself on a higher rank.
It's true. It is very true. It's very true. Is there anything else that anybody else wants to say before I end this? Who hasn't talked? Oh, there was a girl that was here earlier today. I guess she left. But yeah, alrighty, guys. Let me just say, let's do this. Quickly, everybody, give me, at least 3 things that you've learned today.
I learned that we all are manifestors. You said use logic and fear is fear. You said fear. Use love to overcome fear, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good way to put it. Is fear is the lack of love. Fear does not exist, right? Fear only is the lack of love.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that. It's the lack of love. Yeah, I learned that.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned we are manifestors. Use logic, and fear is the lack of love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you, Nev? What are some 3 things that you learned?
Oh, I think he probably left. I don't see him in here no more.
I think he just left. What about you, Leslie? What are some 3 things you learned?
So right now, when I said that I have fear, not to say that, to say I'm experiencing fear. Is that right? I think that's And about, where is that? How the chakras. Well, I didn't have note everything, but it's each chakra works different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, about I don't know. I wrote shame and guilt just because you were talking about it, and I feel like I need to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
The shame and the fear will hold the shame and the guilt will hold in the fear, will hold in the anger, will hold in depression, right? Because it's like I should be something else other than this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty. Thank you very much, Leslie. Do let me know. If you want to do a personal one-on-one session, a guided meditation together to connect with your higher self, that's something that we can do. And also, my book is online. My book is on Amazon. It's called Command Respect. It's like 64 pages. You can read it pretty quickly. Just type in Command Respect.
I'm still reading it. We're gonna talk about that on our the one-on-one session too.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So there's a lot of really good information there. That's more on self-power. That one's more like a book that I wrote using my navel chakra and my heart chakra, right? Because it also has to do with like how do you talk to people in a way that brings their walls down, and you can just talk to them like.
What do you think about that guy, Sadhguru? What's his name? The one you were talking about, the Sadhguru. He be on YouTube.
Oh, Sadhguru. Yeah.
That's his name. What do you think about him and his teachings?
I think he has a lot of peace. He has a lot of peace inside of him, and I really appreciate. I've met him. He didn't meet me, but I met him. I was at his event, and he was walking around, and he was just like, you know, talking.
Yeah.
And,
So what did you learn from him?
I learned a meditation. I learned this meditation that I use to activate my third eye. I use it to send energy up from the bottom of my spine up to the top of my head. And I do this meditation basically every day. I like it because it just helps me think with the higher chakras. It just helps me think instead of thinking just with the lower chakras, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I like it. But yeah, guys, everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. I'm glad you found this very useful. And yeah, just drop me a message. What's up?
Before we exit, can you guide us out with an affirmation?
Yeah.
Or prayer or
yeah.
whatever?
In the name of the Most High, and for the greatest good, O powerful universe, may you allow us and give us permission to do what is right for us, what is right for others, and what is right for God. May we freely give up all that does not serve us. And in the times of struggle, in the times of stress, may we relax our body and let go of all negative tension through the relaxing of our body. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. All right, everybody.
All right, Ivan, man. Thanks, man.
Same.
And I'll see you on that session tomorrow.
All right. Bye, guys.
I'm going to get these phones charged up.
Bye.
Bye.